Hey YouTube, Shukenshobi here with a review of the Power Rangers Megaforce Sea Brothers Zord Vehicle and Blue Ranger. So this is how they are releasing the header sets over here in the States and various other regions that get Power Ranger toys. So basically they take the three headers that came in the set. They're actually pretty much the same size. There's a little bit of features removed, but we'll take a look at that compared to the Gosei toys later on in this review. And they attach it to this jet-looking thing that has three header ports on it, and they just attach the little Zord header thingies on it and make it a vehicle. So kind of an interesting way of doing it, and I actually really do enjoy it because it actually gives the headers, or rather there's the Zords, since that's how they're going to name it here. Even though they don't got a body, they're still classified as Zords apparently. And it gives them something to do that's not just flying around being a head. It gives them something to attach to, and I think that's kind of neat. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that, and then it comes with two power cards. So we'll take a look at those as well, and then it shows the various combinations back here and the three sets that are currently out and about. And I'm recording this a little bit before Black Friday, end of November 2012, so just a time frame of when this was finally found. So let's get it open and take a look. And here we are with the Sea Brothers Zord Vehicle out of the package. So like I said in the beginning, you basically get this vehicle V-shaped. It kind of looks like a Y-wing from Star Wars. But this jet hovercraft thing, and you attach the headers onto it, and it rolls. That's really all it does is roll. You get this Blue Ranger figure that's stuck in this weird sitting position, and all he can do is move his head and move his arm. That's all he can do. And it's horribly painted, mind you. It looks absolutely awful. None of the helmet details are painted in whatsoever. The back looks dull. The front looks dull. It can't move. I honestly prefer it without the figure. I would have rather this just been like a jet piece without the seat, and actually just been like a jet. I would have much preferred that, to be honest, but I guess with the Zord vehicles and stuff, they always want to include some sort of figure because compatibility with action figures is cool and stuff like that, so you get stuck with the figure. But for all purposes of the remainder of this review, this figure doesn't exist. He's gone. So, it's actually pretty neat. I like the design. Like I said, it does look like a Y-wing. I think that's the right starfighter I'm looking for. But it's pretty neat. These parts do come off. You can switch the colors around if you really want to. But those will be used for other things later on. And you have three Zords on here. The tentative names for these, since I'm recording this well before the show starts. This went up in November 2012. The show doesn't begin until at least February 2013. So I have no idea what these are actually going to be named. But it's the Manta Header, the Sawshark Header, and the Hammershark Header in Gosei. So I'm going to take a rough guess and say like Hammershark Zord, Sawshark Zord, and Manta Zord. Just gonna go with that since it makes the most sense. You might get something like Manta Ray or Hammerhead Shark or something like that, but just generic names, I suppose. So each of these does not much of anything. The header here is just a Hammerhead Shark. It rolls. That's about all he does. The Manta Header, the Manta Zord rather. As you can see, has a face on it because it's going to be the helmet for the Sea Megazord. These just move. That's all the Manta part does. And then the Saw is actually the coolest one because it actually has moving saws. You have to manually move it, so that's a little bit of a bummer. And his mouth doesn't open either, even though it is two separate pieces. His doesn't open either. So those are the pieces that you get. This on its own does nothing except have Zord ports on it. This piece comes out, but it doesn't functionally serve anything besides being a little pointy thing. So that is there. The Japanese releases all had action features, like the Manta Header had a button where those extended. And obviously, as you can see, it's much smaller. But paint-wise, it covered most of the bases with the paint. The saw lost quite a bit of mass and some paint detailings. And like I said, the Japanese one had a little crank on it, which is actually still there. It's just molded in. I actually kind of like the American one more because he's actually moved quicker. He's kind of not that lethal of a saw, and his mouth does open. And then the Hammershark Header, like I said, open mouth, and had a button where those extended. So, yeah, quite a bit of paint detailing missing on the Hammershark Zord as well. You can go in with gold and silver markers and kind of fill those in if you want to. But at least the Manta here didn't lose that much paint or anything like that. Then obviously, like I said, a lot of these are smaller. So these do have a combination to make the Sea Megazord. So you're going to have to bring in your Gosei Great Megazord. And it's time to have some fun. So take off the Phoenix Zord and attach it to the Tiger Megazord port right down here. Take off the Shark Zord, attach it to the Snake Megazord port right down here. So now he's got extra faces on his knees, because that's how this line rolls. Take the Hammershark Zord, attach it right onto the Phoenix Megazord. Attach the Sawshark Zord, attach it to the Shark Megazord. So that will be looking like this. Take off the helmet piece. Just keep it aside. You can put it back in the sword and store that away. Take the Manta and keep it aside because we ain't ready yet. Fold these back. Fold the wings back. And from here, if you really wanted to make use of that joint that Bandai America added, you can fold these wings down if you choose to. I prefer to leave them extended just because I like wings. And that will plop right here onto the head, and you have the Sea Megazord, which looks like a pirate, which is actually my favorite of the three auxiliary combinations. I mean, you get a hammer, a saw blade, and he's got a pirate hat. He's like triple the win right here. So, this is my favorite of the three auxiliary combinations. It's just really neat. And overall, I really do like the way he looks. I wish his pirate hat had a little bit more detail down here. But outside of that, I think he's kind of neat. And like I said before, outside of losing out on some mass and paint applications, you have pretty much the same looking formation regardless of which country of origin your product is from. I have to say, I actually kind of like the American's head formation more. It elongated the crest quite a bit. Whereas the Japanese has this like lumpy stick area. The American one's actually quite a bit more streamlined, so I have to give them props for that. I think the overall combination, since it's thinner, ends up looking actually quite a bit better. But functionality-wise, the Japanese version wins because it has the crank and the spring-loaded features and stuff like that. But, yeah, still really cool. So we're just going to stick that over here and bring in our little, whatever you want to call this. This can store on the back thanks to this port right here that will be used in the hyper formation. But thanks to the fact that this formation brings the wings back, it can't clip in. You can't push it in far enough. So that feature's kind of moot, but the other ones you can attach on the back that are for storage, should you want to. And of course, 2 power cards are included with the Zord vehicle. The card for the Sea Megazord P102 and the Sea Brothers Zords P038. So, further confirmation that I'm pretty sure the headers are Zords and the full robots are the Megazords, so we ain't going to get any Megazords for these guys. But really cool cards. I do love the fact that they are coming with the cards. I'm a huge card game fanatic, so having these included is nice. And that was one of the things I like most about the Ghost Age toy line. So overall, I actually really like this. For $17.99, that's Toys R Us's price. I'm guesstimating at most retailers it'll probably be about $14.99 or so. But we'll see once Target and Walmart start actually carrying this. But I love this piece right here. I love the fact that these Zords have something to attach to when you're not using them. Since most displays will probably end up having Gosei Great Grand Megazord as their display combination, you're not going to have like the hyper formation or anything like that, or the sea or the land or anything like that. So it gives the Zords somewhere to go when they're not used in the formation. It gives them something to attach to. You can take the stupid figure, even though I hate it, and have him drive it around. It just gives you an extra level of functionality, and you can mix and match these too. You can put some of the land ones on here if you really wanted to, the sky ones, even the shark or the dragon or anything like that can attach to these. So you get quite a bit of functionality that you otherwise wouldn't just by having the Zords. In Japan, they released them as just the headers, so you really didn't have anything to do with them besides sit them in front of the mechas or attach them. You didn't have an auxiliary form of entertainment with them. So that is something I have to give Bandai of America props for. I love the way that they decided to release these while continuing the Zord vehicle line they started in 2010. So really cool on their part. Great substitute for the Japanese release. The paint applications that are missing on the two sharks are kind of disappointing because they do look very bland. Blue and blue. But it's a very easy customization fix, just some gold and silver paint right there, and you're pretty much good to go. So I can't complain too bad because it is a Bandai of America product. Missing paint is kind of a thing you just sort of accept and move on with your life. But really cool. I do love this formation, and I like the concept in general here. So you can check out shukenshobi.com for all the latest updates on my reviews and hauls. And of course, check out ridersrandomsandrambles.com, the podcast bringing the latest token news in the clearest way possible. And of course, check out my blog very soon. By the time most people see this, it might actually be up. Nice comparison between the Gosei line and the Megaforce line, which I will be featuring on my blog. So be sure to check that out if that sort of thing interests you. So take care and have a great one. Bye.